for tuning in to Barbershop Sports Talk.
Oh, this is Lane, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Barbershop Sports Talk. Great show today. You know, I always say that, but today I think I really mean it. It's not just a great show. It's going to be a masterful show. It's going to be the best podcast out there, the best thing you've ever heard today. My roommate, Shuhei Iwasaki, is finally coming on, begrudgingly, but I got him to come on because I helped him with this test. So I can't wait to have that conversation. I'm going to make an Empire reference, because Empire is my favorite show after all. Is Lavar Ball possibly changing the mold in college athletics? And two teams that can cause a whole lot of trouble in the NFC. But first, I'm going to start with this. So, all the time when I talk to my grandma, she always, because I'm always like, I'm bloke, because that's where I'm from, you know, the land of the frozen tundra. Buffalo's not the biggest city. There's no really clubs in Buffalo like that. Not the best sports teams. It's a small market, right? And lots of people down on Buffalo, and they just like to hate on Buffalo in general. So I'm just like, Grandma, I don't want to live in Buffalo for the rest of my life. I want to get out. She's like, Daryl, you want to go live in Buffalo? And she says that in that little high-pitched, you know, old grandma voice. And I'm just like, okay, Grandma. Because she's like, because I tell her, like, Grandma, I want to live in California. I want to live in Florida. I want to live in Texas. I want to live in Nevada. I want to live anywhere but Buffalo. I want to live in these warm, nice tropical climates or whatever. And then she's just like, no. And you know what she tells me? She's like, Daryl, fine. Live in California. See how those mudslides are treating you. Live in California. I don't have to deal with those earthquakes here in Buffalo. And right now, California is lit. And not the good type of lit. Lit and fire. I'm like, Grandma, when I say, I want to live in Florida, she's like, fine, Daryl, live in Florida. See all those wildlife there, snatch your butt up. Crocodiles and whatnot. Talking to me about the Burmese python. She was talking to me about the Burmese python. My grandma, I want to live in Dallas. And I don't even want to tell you what she said about Dallas because she's vehemently against me living in Dallas. But let me just put it to you this way. Dallas is not her type of scene. And she's always like, you know what just happened? They just had a hurricane, even though they had a hurricane in Houston. But she's like, they just had a hurricane. It's always hot down there. Are you sure those are your type of people? She's always like that. So you want to know what? I'm just like, now, maybe I should stay in Buffalo sometimes. It is my home after all. I was born. You can complain a lot about Buffalo, but we don't get mudslides. We don't have tsunamis. Don't have tornadoes. You know, no fires. All we get is snow. And to be honest, where I'm from in Buffalo, we don't get as much snow as people stereotypically think. That's more in the South towns, like out in Pioneer and Arcade and all that stuff. In the city of Buffalo, where I'm close to near in Amherst, we don't even get that much. I mean, we get snow, but it's not the typical how people portray it nationally. Like Buffalo, you know, we don't have school. We're all in the tundra. It's not like that. So yeah, we have to deal with snow every once in a while. But really, snow's better than dealing tsunamis, hurricanes, and all that. And that's what my grandma tells me. She's like, because I don't want to deal with that. And then even in Buffalo, stuff to do in Buffalo. I will say this, Grandma, there is stuff to do in Buffalo. Restaurants. We have a waterfront. We have museums. Like, if you haven't figured out anything to do in Buffalo and you lived here in 18 years, you got problems. And I'm going to say this. And I will admit this one time. Grandma, you are right. You are right. And speaking of stuff my grandma likes, my grandma's also a big LeBron James fan. Which is why I'm going to tell LeBron James this. Don't leave Cleveland. Because to be honest, where are you going to go, man? Where are you going to go? When you usually leave home, right, People usually leave home for college. And when they leave, they usually leave for a better option. When you leave home, you leave for a better option. You don't give up home cooking just for the hell of it. You leave for a purpose. And when LeBron left Cleveland the first time and went to Miami, he was leaving Boobie Gibson, Mo Williams, and Antoine Jameson to team up with Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and Ray Allen. Living in Miami, no state taxes, beautiful weather. Get a whole different experience he's never had because he's lived in Cleveland, Ohio, Akron area his whole life. But there is no better option this time. Where's LeBron going to go? The Lakers play with a bunch of young players. Lonzo Ball's dad, the young star of the Lakers, is annoying. And LeBron James already said, keep my kid's name out your mouth. LA has the highest taxes in the country. California, the state of California, has the highest taxes in the country. And Bel Air almost burned down to the ground last week. And their fan base, just to add on this for the Lakers tradition, and I know since I'm a Lakers fan, they expect championships. It's not like Cleveland when you win one and we all love you. It's not like that. They expect championships. They expect from Kobe, Magic, Kareem, Wilt, Jerry West. It's that legacy, that Laker legacy. So, people can say, LeBron, go to San Antonio. He's going to leave Cleveland. People think Cleveland's boring. People think Buffalo's boring. What you think's in San Antonio? All they got is the Riverwalk. And it's humid and hot all the time in San Antonio. Plus, LeBron, you get to dictate everything you want in Cleveland. You ain't dictating a damn thing in San Antonio with Greg Popovich and R.C. Buford in them. They make the decisions, LeBron. LeBron's playing 40 minutes right now, doing whatever he wants. That's not happening in San Antonio. It's not happening. And we can say, go to Houston. There was reports earlier this week that LeBron could go to Houston. It's a good fit. Really? Does LeBron James and Mike D'Antoni really sound good together? Does that really make sense? LeBron James being coached by Mike D'Antoni. Kobe didn't even like Mike D'Antoni. Kobe got Mike D'Antoni fired. And I know Chris Paul's there, one of the Banana Boat buddies. Right now, Chris Paul's had to change his game. And right now, that Houston Rockets offense revolves around James Harden. When LeBron goes places, the offense revolves around him. So I don't know how that dynamic would work. Because Chris Paul can change his game for James Harden. LeBron James ain't changing his game for nobody. People change their game for LeBron James. And that's what you get to do. That's the luxury you have when you're the greatest player in the world. Plus, I know LeBron James is not going to sit there and listen to Daryl Morey talking to him about analytics and why we made this move and that move and yada yada because of analytics. LeBron ain't want to hear none of that. I know that for a fact. So now that we got past some Western Conference teams, the toughest conference that LeBron would go to if he left Cleveland, inherently making it harder for him to make the NBA Finals because he still has to play that team, Golden State Warriors, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, coached by Steve Kerr. Yeah, LeBron doesn't want to face them. So let's say LeBron goes to these. Where's he going to go? Philadelphia 76ers. Can't see LeBron James in Philly. And plus, him and Ben Simmons have the same type of game. That is redundant. And if you're going to live in Philly, you might as well stay in Cleveland. New York Knicks. LeBron James doesn't like foolishness. And LeBron James would not put up with James Dolan's foolishness. Trust me on that. LeBron James would be, no, I ain't doing it. I'm not for it. I'm not the one. That would be LeBron. I'm not the one. Plus, New York's expensive. New York is pretty expensive to live in, too. Just a side note. And I will say this. When my grandma was talking to me all these cities to live in, and it's interesting, right, because I was talking to my dad about this, too. And we were in Atlanta last year. My grandpa passed away, and we were in Atlanta. And we were driving. My dad was like, and Atlanta's a big city, right? Big market, great night scene, all that stuff. And my dad's like, I would never want to live in Atlanta. And I'm like, why? And he's like, the traffic is awful. You can't get anywhere. In these big cities, that we say is the hot spot, the strip and all that stuff, you do realize it's hard to get places. There is lots of traffic. It's not like that in Cleveland. It's not like that in Buffalo. It's not like that in small markets. And I will tell you this. Somebody that was born and raised in Buffalo and now lives in Cleveland, you can have fun if that's your thing. If you want to go to nightclubs, if you want to go to bars, even if you want to go to a strip club or whatever you want to go to, and that's your thing because that's what some athletes are into, lots of young athletes are into, you can find fun in just in general. You can find stuff wherever. You can find stuff wherever. You just can't. There's places to go in Cleveland, Buffalo. There's just more places to go in Los Angeles, Atlanta, and New York City. There's just more places. But you can still get done what you need to get done. And to be perfectly honest, LeBron James is too dang old to be doing any of that stuff. The nightlife for LeBron James at this point, he's 32 years old and he's married with 3 kids. The nightlife for LeBron James is tucking his kids in at night and having date night with his wife at Denny's. That's the nightlife for LeBron James. It ain't hanging out till 5 a.m. in the morning. It ain't. Plus in Cleveland, LeBron James gets this. Already won him a championship. He is free from criticism. Small media market, so less noise, less combative. You know, LeBron James gets to do whatever he wants. He gets to control and dictate everything. And we all know LeBron James loves control. So that was my message for today. That's what we got out. Now, next up, coming up on Barbershop Sports Talk, I'm going to make an Empire reference in relation to Quentin Jefferson and him almost jumping into the stands last Sunday. Got a lot of takes on that, and we're going to relate that, and I might go on a little rant, just maybe. Have to wait and find out. Coming up next on Barbershop Sports Talk. Oh, we're back with Barbershop Sports Talk. So, it's funny, right? Just quick on the side before I talk about the Quentin Jefferson running into the stands incident. So at John Carroll, we get these little updates on our email, and there's been 3 emails this year of that the JCUPD sent out to us, the police officers on campus, of reported cars being stolen. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what is going on here? And 2 happened like within the same week, like literally. 2 happened within the same week. One I remember happened in the beginning of the year, and 2 happened the same week. And I'm just like, and I was talking to somebody, they were like, well, I guess it's just the holiday season. And I'm just like, what's that mean? When they mean give for the holidays, not take. Not take. You know, it's just, I wonder what's going on. People out here stealing cars and whatnot, you know. I guess it's just that time of the year. I don't know. Speaking of crazy things happen, Quentin Jefferson, defensive end for the Seattle Seahawks, running in the stands. You know, so let me just give you some backstory on this. The Seattle Seahawks are at Jacksonville playing the Jaguars. The Seahawks were getting their butts kicked by the Jaguars. And, you know, Blake Bortles and Jaguars are doing their kneel thing at the end of the game. You kneel, you bleed the ball out, timeout, game over, right? Now, what Michael Bennett did while this was going on is he dove at one of the linemen's knees, you know. It's sort of like an illegal, like not an illegal play. You can do it, but it's sort of against the brotherhood code in the NFL. Like, you know, you don't do that type of stuff at the end of the game. You know, the game's already out of hand. There's no point. You're just doing it just to be sort of like an a-hole, a jerk. So Michael Bennett did it. It obviously started a fight a little bit. Leonard Fournette comes up and pushes him because he's like, you don't do that to my guy like Leonard Fournette's supposed to do as a teammate. And what ends up happening is, you know, tussle, this, Quentin Jefferson gets involved right back into this guy, Michael Bennett, and the refs just throw Quentin Jefferson out the game. Now, why? Quentin Jefferson's thrown out the game, you know, he's running to the tunnel, and a fan throws a beer at him, and it goes over his head. So Quentin Jefferson's like, what? And Quentin Jefferson runs all the way over, starts chirping at the fans, and the fan actually throws, and Quentin Jefferson has his helmet off. So then when he runs over to the stands or whatever, the fan throws another beer and it hits him in the head. And then he gets agitated and he tries to come up and crawl up in the stands, and the security guards have to stop him. Now, I want to say this. Some other things were probably said. They probably said some other profane language, maybe some racial slurs, homophobic slurs. I don't know. Probably something else that wasn't too kosher. to that they said to him, and it set him off, which is like humans, To me, there's certain things you can't say to me without getting a certain type of reaction, and it's always like another grandma reference. She's like, just ignore. Well, I will say this. You should ignore. I will agree with my grandma again. She's listening. She's probably going to be happy. She's like, you go, Daryl. I'm agreeing with you. But yeah, you should ignore it. I know they're yelling vulgar stuff at you, but Quentin Jefferson, you're in the NFL. Not many people are in your position. Just ignore them. I mean, it's a drunken idiot fan, Probably has nothing better to do at home. His life's probably not that great, so just, ignore it. Ignore it. And now, and be the bigger man. It's just all about being the bigger man. If you stop and look at every fool in your life, you're going to be stopping a lot. You stop at every fool. Because trust me, once you get a fool and you get that fool liquored up, they're going to be doing some real foolish things. So Quentin Jefferson, just walk away. I know what they said was probably vulgar. They threw stuff in the, and even with the beer can, if you just kept running, had your helmet on in the first place, I don't know why you had it off, but if you just run and get to the tunnel, get out the shame or whatever, because, it's on the road, the fans are going to be idiots, So just don't put yourself in that type of position. It's not worth it. But I will say this, just to give this Empire reference. Actually, I was just watching Empire like 3-4 hours ago. There is a reference that Jamal Lyon made towards his father, Lucius Lyon, who was, manipulative jerk. You know what he said? Your judgment's coming. It's long past due. If you live by the sword, die by it too. While I will say this, Quentin Jefferson shouldn't entertain fools. I can't get too mad at Quentin Jefferson. If he got in the fans, the security guards couldn't stop him from crawling up there and gave that fan the business and put his hands on him. I mean, I don't want to see that happen. I'm not promoting violence, but if it happens, it happens. There's only so much I can say, You a $180 and you're throwing stuff at a man that's 210 pounds and chiseled like a brick house. There's not much I can do for you. So I will say this. All these fans, they want to throw stuff, they want to talk stuff, yell slurs and do all that stuff and act all brave and bold. You wouldn't say that to the man on the street. Because you know what would happen. So don't do it now. Because one of these days, one of these players is going to get up in there and it's going to be ugly. Remember with the mouse and the pouch with Ron Artest? Somebody threw whatever it was at Ron Artest, and he came up and he punched the fan right in the face. He socked him. And actually was the wrong fan, ended up becoming an ugly incident. Steven Jackson, Jermaine O'Neal, they all ran up in the stands. It was a bad look, but I think that's also why Quentin Jefferson should be suspended. It's a bad look, Don't entertain fools. Just ignore it. But if it doesn't happen and you ignore it, and he gets to the fan right in the kisser, I will not be... I'll be disappointed. I won't like it like violence, but you know what? Karma happens. And karma isn't always right. Karma is not always right. There's only so many times you can dance with the devil before you not getting burned by it. And it's the same thing that happened to Vontaze Burfict. Vontaze Burfict wants to act like a clown. I remember I was talking to my dad about this, 4 or 5 weeks ago during Thanksgiving. We were talking about all the stuff he's done. He tried to shake a Packers player's hand, then he tried to hit him in the man region. Doing stupid idiotic stuff like that. Fighting people at Arizona State practices, some, just gang mentality that's just stupid and ignorant, and doing a lot of other foolish stuff. Stuff when he knocked Antonio Brown out the game. And Juju Smith, wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, cleaned his clock during the Cincinnati Bengals Steelers game last week. And knocked his butt out and stood over him. And Antonio Brown saying, karma, karma, karma. And while I'm not happy because he got knocked out, he had to be carted off, Antonio Brown was right. There's karma. You got what was coming to you. And it's the same thing with Rob Gronkowski wants to jump on top of Tre'Davious White. Tre'Davious White said, the whole hood's going to be out for Rob Gronkowski. I'm not promoting this type of stuff, people to hurt each other, but you want to know, you do stuff to people. Don't expect people to be good back to you. Just don't expect it. Because trust me, sometimes when you act ignorant, people will try to act just a whole bunch more ignorant. And it gets into an ignorant battle, then it gets worse and worse, and that's never good. But sometimes that's happened. So you know what, players, just ignore it. Let it go over your head. And fans, stop acting like dang idiots, Just enjoy the game. Take your kids there, I used to go to the Bills game with my dad and mom. We never did this type of stuff. Just watch the game, enjoy what's going on, You know, there's a reason why they stopped selling liquor after halftime. Because of stuff like that. Now coming up next on Barbershop Sports Talk, we're going to have a little crazy, lazy, or maybe. Coming up next, right after the break. Back with Barbershop Sports Talk. We're going to have my roommate Shuhei Iwasaki come on the show right after the break. Can't wait to have him. It's going to be great. Finally going to get that interview. He's been denying me. He's been like, no, Darrell, no. But finally it's going to be yes. Before we have him on, I'm going to talk a little bit about my New York Yankees. Derek Jeter, great Yankee, right? Number 2, El Capitan, 1-5, World Series for the New York Yankees. He stay helping the Yankees even when he's retired. Chief Executive Officer and part owner of the Miami Marlins. He traded Giancarlo Stanton to the New York Yankees. And this is the cake about the trade. For all you don't know, Giancarlo Stanton, NL MVP, at 59 home runs, leading all the majors. 132 RBIs, top of the major leagues, 281 batting average. One of the best players in baseball, if not the best player in baseball. Definitely the best power hitter. You know, great player. And the Yankees got him for Starlin Castro, solid second baseman, and a minor league right-handed pitcher named George Gutzman, and a minor league infielder, Josh Devers. And I was reading up on it to find out what was going on. And basically what the Yankees did is they dumped second baseman Starlin Castro, who was guaranteed $22 million over the next 2 seasons. Then they gave up their 2 youngsters, and George Gutzman and Josh Devers. And this is from a quote from Bleacher Report. They're the kind of players who will fill out an organization, not boost an organization. Yeah, packing peanuts. So, you know, these are guys that if you win a championship, they might help you win a championship. They're not going to carry you to a championship. They're not franchise players. They're not game changers. And the Yankees have some talent in their farm system right now. They kept all the young talent, I guess, in their farm system, which is great for the Yankees. They keep building and growing with that young core. They didn't sell the farm like how Houston did with the Detroit Tigers when they gave up just Justin Verlander. So, I don't know. I think Derek Jeter just might have won the Yankees his 6th ring. Let's give Derek Jeter a 6th ring for this one. You are comparing. You are. See, I can't even get the words out. It is just. I can't even get the words out. It's just crazy. Look at this lineup. You're the best hitter in baseball in Giancarlo Stanton. Oh, wait, I forgot. Maybe it's Aaron Judge, who had 52 home runs and led the AL. It was just a rookie. You have 2 6'6", 280-pound men that are great power hitters, swinging for the fences. Oh, my gosh. And the Yankees ballpark is small, so that's even more home runs. This is unfair. And not to mention, you got Didi Gregorius, solid hitter, good at the shortstop position. Luis Serviano, really young, talented pitcher. Gary Sanchez, who's their 3rd worst hitter. And Gary Sanchez is a great power hitter. Gary Sanchez is a great power hitter. He's the forgotten guy. Plus, you have your young farm system still intact. And there's free agency next year, where names like Bryce Harper are going to be up. That is a big deal. Could you imagine if Bryce Harper went to the New York Yankees? Oh my God. Derek Jeter doesn't know what he just did. He has helped building back up the evil empire that everybody hates. Derek Jeter, this is almost as bad as when Kevin McHale, when he was the GM of the Minnesota Timberwolves and he gift packaged Kevin Garnett to the Boston Celtics. Derek Jeter's doing the Yankees a favor, trying to help his team win some rings. I respect it. I'm a Yankees fan. I don't mind. I'd just be pissed off if I was an Astros fan, a Dodgers fan, any other baseball fan. Hell, I'd be pissed if I was a Red Sox fan. Why you do it? It's just unfair. It's just unfair. But with that, now it's time for a little crazy, lazy, or maybe LiAngelo Ball. My dad knows what he's doing, so I just trust the process. Lavar Ball says, our goal is to get both of these boys, have all three of them on the Lakers. And sometimes it's different roads to get there. But we're going to get there. We're just on a different road right now. Maybe, for better or for worse, LiAngelo's right. Lavar Ball's their dad, and he has gotten them this far. 3 scholarships to UCLA, or which they had. I mean, LiAngelo's at Lamelo off in Lithuania somewhere. But, he has gotten this far. He seems like a good guy. He really loves his kid, so I can't fault the man. And you know what? LiAngelo should trust him. That's his pops. At 78 years old, Bill Snyder reportedly plans to return as the Kansas State head football coach. Crazy. This man is too damn old to still be coaching. And this is part of the problem I have with college football. He is holding these kids hostage. And this school hostage. It would be different. Let's say he signed a 6-year deal. And he committed long term. But he's not. He's 78 years old. He's doing this day by day. Week by week. Month by month. Year by year. That's not how you run a program. When you come in the room and you're selling these kids, what are you selling these kids on? Maybe I'll be here, maybe I don't. We have to see how I feel. See, I don't like it. LeBron James says he loves Lonzo Ball's humility, discusses rookie parallel. I mean, of course, I guess, when you're drafted to a franchise, they want you to kind of be the savior, and it takes a while. I mean, listen, man, this guy's 20-something games into his pro career. Explicative. Doesn't happen that fast. Here it goes again. It goes back to my instant oatmeal quote. Everybody wants it right away. Can he play ball? Absolutely. The kid can play ball. Do you guys want to play with him? Absolutely. Because it's a guy who is not about him. It's about the success of the team, and he gives up the ball. And he passes the ball. And there's energy behind the ball. Lazy. LeBron, I love what you're trying to do, bro. You are a top 5 player of all time. Some people's opinion, the greatest player of all time, even though I think that's asinine. And in my opinion, you might probably going to end up being the second greatest player of all time. And you're the best player in the NBA right now, LeBron. Do not compare yourself to Lonzo Ball. Giving LeVar Ball more ammunition. Don't do it, LeBron. Don't do it. Floyd Mayweather Jr. says UFC approached him about comeback and live stream rant. You already know I'm money getting mother effer. I'm Money May. They just called me not too long ago and asked me to come back. I can come right back to the UFC if I want. I can go fight in the octagon. I can do a 3 or 4 fight deal in the octagon and make $1 billion. Remember, I'm Floyd Money Mayweather. And you mother effers love me. And I love you mother effers. Crazy. Floyd is something else, man. I can't. Floyd is too funny. Floyd is arrogant, as cocky as they can be, and it's funny because he backs it up. It is just crazy. This man is baiting people. This man just want to get paid again. He's not going, and no. This man is a liar. He's not stepping foot in no UFC octagon. He's not getting twisted up in a pencil by none of those dudes. Floyd is not even going to entertain that because it wouldn't be smart. And you don't get 50 and 0 and be a billionaire like Floyd is by not being smart and not being calculated. Floyd just talking smack. And shoot, maybe Conor McGregor will go back in the ring and give Floyd another $100 million for another whooping. Maybe that's Floyd's angle here, man. I don't know. Roger Goodell's new contract to be last will help search for next commissioner. Maybe this is what needs to happen. Roger Goodell has done a lot of stuff. The NFL's never been more popular. They're making a boatload of money, but a lot of controversies from kneeling in the anthem to concussions to domestic violence, to even player relations and labor disputes with him and DeMaurice Smith. Lots of it's just not going well. And, Roger Goodell's done a lot of good, but there's been a lot of inconsistency, a lot of bad. And I think give him this time, maybe, recapture, reinvent himself, his image, get out. But on good terms, build himself back up while finding a successor. I think it could work for both sides, him, the owners, and the players. And sometimes you need a fresh voice. I mean, the commissioner is a very important job. Sometimes you just need commissioners don't last very long. I mean, Donald Sterling in the NBA is about the only commissioner that was there forever. And Adam Silver's probably going to be there forever too. Just the way it is. And that's it for Crazy, Lazy, or Maybe. Coming next on Barbershop Sports Talk, I'm going to have my roommate, Shuhei Iwasaki, come on the show. I can't wait to have Shuhei on the show. I'm going to love it. Shuhei's not here right now, but Shuhei will be back after his bathroom break in a minute, and I cannot wait to have Shuhei on. Coming up next on Barbershop Sports Talk. Oh, we're back with Barbershop Sports Talk, and we finally have the best guest by far, my favorite guest, the man I have been trying to get to come on the show consistently. I've been begging him every day. My roommate, Shuhei Iwasaki. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Duro?
I'm doing good. Why is it taking you so long to come on, buddy?
Because yesterday was, you were like begging me a lot, and then and you had my final, so.
Yes, now before we start, I do want to tell you this.
Okay.
So I did nickname you Ashley, right?
Yep.
Now, you want to know how that all started?
Yeah.
It was the first day I come in, right? I'm groggy, I'm tired, I get back from Chicago, I don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And I see your name up there, and I didn't know how to really correctly pronounce it, and I just glanced up on it, and I mixed Shuhei with the Iwasaki, and that's how I got, but I did it backwards. Mm-hmm. And then I said, Ashley. That's how I got it. And then you didn't correct me till like 2 months later.
I like it, though. That's why I didn't collect.
But now to get to what I want to, so you were a pitcher, right?
Yeah, I used to.
Now, I just want to ask you this. How big is just baseball in Japan, since you're from Japan?
Actually, in Japan, baseball is one of the best popular sports in Japan.
So it's like how football is here, or like how soccer is in Europe?
Yeah.
Now, since you're a pitcher, you have anybody you ever modeled your game after? Anybody you really liked, looked up to?
Do you know, like... He used to play in Mariners before. His name is Nomo Hideo, and then I was kind of wanted to be like him.
Be like him? What did he do specifically that you liked?
His split. His slow split is very well. So, and also I'm throwing split too. So
when you're a good pitcher, what do you have to have, like just mentally, first of all, to be a good pitcher? Because that's like the most important position on the field. You know, they always say the pitcher controls the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the most important ability is to throw the what catcher required. Yeah, that's the most important. So that I can do how can I say? I don't know, but yeah, I can do. How can I say? I don't know about that.
So you're cohesive.
Yeah, control is important.
Now, is there a type of pitch that's harder for the batter to hit? Mm-hmm. What's the hardest pitch you think for a batter to hit?
I hate the switch hitter. You know what I mean? The batter is left.
Okay.
Yeah, personally, and I don't really know. I don't really care about batters.
No, for a batter, have you ever noticed a specific pitch that messes the batter up that the batter just can't hit?
Mm-hmm. What do you mean?
Your go-to pitch that batters just can't hit.
Yeah.
Just the best pitch that a batter they struggle to hit. Uh-huh. Is there any type of pitch?
I don't know actually. I don't know how to answer.
Do you have a favorite type of pitch?
Oh, like straight or...
Yeah.
I like straight. Yeah, because I was kind of confident at that time about my straight, so...
Yeah. Now, there's this really good big baseball player, Ontane. He's coming from Japan all the way to America. He's going to play for the Los Angeles Angels. People have dubbed him the Japanese Babe Ruth. Is Ontane, is he the hype? Is he for real?
Yeah. Yeah, he is really talented, but I'm sure he's gonna face the problem, like the Japanese, how can I say, mound?
Yeah.
and his mound is quite different, so he's gonna be a struggle.
Well, can you explain the difference a little bit?
The Japanese mound is, how can I say, not sticky.
Okay.
Yeah, but here is sticky, so all the pitchers say that.
Okay.
Yeah, Darvish too. That's what he said too.
Now, I do have to ask you this also. Buddy, you came here from Japan.
Yeah.
And I want to know, like, how hard was the adjustment? Because you hear in the news with Lavar Ball, he's sending both his kids, who are 16 and 19, all the way to Lithuania to play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're talking about how they're going to handle it, how they're going to do it. Now they're playing professional basketball. They're going to get paid like $500 a month or something like that. How hard is truly the adjustment from going to one country from another?
For me, when I first came here, what's hard was to make friends actually, because my English is not so good and I don't really know how to communicate well. So yeah, making friends was hardest part.
What about the food?
Yeah, food is really different from Japanese food. So I mean, it's okay, but yeah, I'm getting used to this food. So,
but the noodles no, it's not the same.
No.
Can you please tell me?
No, it tastes different. The noodle is like sticky. I don't know how to explain, but it's quite different. You should eat real ramen.
So we have the communication barrier, being able to make friends, and we have the food as two big things. But is there anything else?
Yeah, I guess pretty much about it. Yeah, food, environment. I like this environment though, because the building or the houses are quite different. So that was for me interesting to do sightseeing in Cleveland. Then yeah.
Now the thing that both of them have together, they're both going together as brothers. So I guess they can sort of look after each other a little bit. Mm-hmm. Do you think that would help the transition a little bit?
Yeah, I think so too. I agree.
With a sibling or a family member or something of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Now, please tell me, buddy, why has it taken you so long again to come on my show?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm, actually shy, and then I feel like I didn't want to make your show bad.
But you talk all the time, and you're awesome.
No, I'm not. But now I'm trying to, as I said, you have my final test, so I'm trying to, be here.
No, buddy. Because I like to actually call you buddy, because you are my buddy.
Yep.
Help us learn some Japanese here.
What?
Help us learn some Japanese here. How do you say awesome in Japan?
Kakkoi.
Kakkoi?
Yeah, kakkoi.
How do you say barbershop sports talk in Japanese?
It's barbershop sports talk.
Is this barbershop sports talk?
Yeah, because it's English. We don't have. Yeah.
What about barbershop?
Barbershop.
How do you say sports?
Sports.
It's just the same thing?
Yeah, because it's English word.
How about get in the shop, man?
Get a what?
Get in the shop, man.
Show ni koi yo.
Show ni koi yo?
Yeah.
Get in the shop, man. Okay. I did want to know that for some other purposes. Now, buddy, I want to go back to baseball.
Mm-hmm.
How does the baseball system work in Japan?
It's pretty much same here.
So there's a minor league system. You work your way up.
Yeah.
Now, can you come out of high school in Japan with baseball?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Like, can you come out of high school? Like, do you have to go to college? Like in some sports in America, you have to stay in college and then go to professional. In Japan, can you just...
Yeah. We can do that from high school. You mean after graduation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Now, if I was giving you like a choice, you Darvish or Tanaka, who are you taking?
That's a good question. You mean which is a better pitcher?
Yes.
I don't know. I personally like Darvish Year better since he is cool. I don't know. But both pitcher are good pitcher. But his baseball level is really high. So yeah, they are struggling. But when they were in Japan, they were just perfect.
Now, I remember I was watching Little League World Series, actually. 3-4 years ago. You know about the Little League World Series?
Yeah.
It's like this huge thing. You have all the kids, and they have the international side, they have the American side. I remember like 3-4 years ago. I don't know if you remember. There was like this Monet Davis girl.
Mm-hmm.
She was a pitcher, African American girl. You had Jackie Robinson West, and you had the Japanese guys on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up being Jackie Robinson West, really talented guys from Chicago, and they were up against the Japanese team. The Japanese team, I will never forget this. They were monsters. They destroyed them. They destroyed them.
Uh-huh.
And the Jackie Robinson West from Chicago, the team was talented. They had a lot of young guys. They were fun. The Chinese guys, they were all quiet, and they just like kept hitting the ball. Home run, home run, home run, home run, home run. Home run. And it was like, I remember it was like 9-4 or something like that. And actually, Jackie Robinson West, they ended up making like a slight comeback and got a couple runs like in the 9th inning. But it was just, the Japanese team just controlled the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
And baseball, so I guess to go off that, is baseball in Japan just this big thing where you start when you're young and you really get ingrained in it?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I started playing baseball when I was 7. So, yeah, most people stood playing baseball.
Now, they're not like that with basketball.
Basketball?
Yeah.
I don't know. My young brother playing basketball, though. He's 10 years old. But I don't really know about basketball.
But because baseball's the big deal in Japan.
Yeah.
And then you guys just don't even know about football. You guys don't even mess with football, right?
No.
No, not at all?
Yeah.
Even the Super Bowl. Do you guys watch the Super Bowl in Japan?
Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, what is that?
You know, the big game everybody watches in the play?
That's called Super Bowl.
Yes.
No.
No, not even Japan?
I mean, at least me. Yeah. I mean, basketball is a big sport though, but it's less than like baseball, soccer. Yeah, it's coming after baseball, soccer.
So would you say, if we put it up here, we have baseball?
Yeah, baseball, soccer, maybe tennis, basketball, I guess.
Tennis, basketball.
Yeah.
And then nobody cares about football.
After basketball, football is coming. But
by football, you mean soccer?
No, football, I meant...
tackle football. Football.
Yeah.
Okay, but are there any, like, football teams in Japan?
Yeah.
There are?
Yeah, we have, but, it's not that popular.
Do you ever think that it could get popular? Because football isn't really a global sport. Like, baseball's global in lots of countries, like, you know how big it is in Japan. And even in basketball's a very global sport.
Yeah.
And even in with hockey, you know, Canadian hockey's really, really big.
Yeah.
Soccer, everybody plays soccer around the world except for here, basically.
Yeah.
Like, do you think football will ever be able to globalize like that?
Possibly. I mean, we have Olympic, and if the Tokyo Olympic accept doing the football, I don't know, it could be popular.
No, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
Shuhei. But right after the break, we'll talk about a lot more stuff. You ready for that, buddy?
Yeah, probably.
Yes. We might talk about my favorite part about Japan. I'm going to tell you. Coming up next, right after the break, on Barbershop Sports Talk. Oh, we're back with Barbershop Sports Talk, and we still have friend, roommate, buddy, Shuhei Iwasaki with us. How are you? You still doing great, Shuhei?
Yeah, actually, Shuhei Iwasaki though.
I pronounced it wrong.
Yeah, but that's okay. It's hard to pronounce my name. It's Japanese name, so.
Now, buddy, when I thought of Japan and when I came up, the biggest thing here in America that we all think about when we think of Japan is anime.
Yeah.
But the way you talk about anime, I grew up and I loved Naruto. You know, with Sasuke, Elite Village, all that stuff was on too. Now I remember that as a little kid.
Yeah.
You're not, you was like, Naruto not even a big deal.
I mean, yeah, Naruto is very popular in Japan. Just I personally haven't seen the Naruto.
And then you got One Piece, you got like Bleach. You love Slam Dunk,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that didn't inspire you to play basketball?
At that time, I already playing baseball, so.
Can't you play basketball and baseball though in like different seasons? Like
Yeah. I love that system here, but Japan, we don't do that.
you don't?
No, we don't have such system. We just belong to one club.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So you can't join multiple clubs?
No.
That's not allowed?
Yeah, basically not allowed.
So it's all year round.
Yeah.
So that's specialization,
Yeah.
some could say. Now, another big part of Japan, which I was actually talking to you about, I don't know if you remember, Yu-Gi-Oh!
That's a card game.
Yes, now
In terms of playing game, I prefer Pokemon because Pokemon was really fun. I was crazy into Pokemon. But Yu-Gi-Oh has also anime and a card game. Card game was really fun.
you know Pokemon has a card game too.
No.
It does.
Oh, but I
Oh, you didn't like it?
Yeah.
No. Now, there is another thing here that we all have to look at.
Mhm.
Buddy.
Mhm.
Anthony.
Otani again?
Yes.
Okay.
Going back to Anthony.
Mhm.
Can he be
Mhm.
the Babe Ruth of the major leagues? Can he be that next guy?
That's a good question. I don't know, but I hope he's gonna be like him. But he's gonna face difficulty absolutely since the environment is quite different, and I don't think he can speak English. So he's gonna have to practice English because communication between pitcher and the catcher is really important. So yeah.
He can. Well, yeah, because you can't lose a translator on the field. So the fact that he can't speak English, you can see that being a problem early on.
Yeah, definitely.
Now Tanaka, I believe, and Ichiro, they can speak English, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that probably helps a lot more. Even you, Darvish.
Yeah.
Now that probably helps when you're going over there, just being able to even like communicate with your teammates, your guys, your brothers, be able to talk to them, talk to your coach, your GM, all those things you need to do.
Yeah. That's the hard part when Japanese guy coming here.
Now, my thing here is, you love baseball, right?
Yeah. I love baseball.
But you don't.
What
Like
do you,
Major League Baseball.
What do you mean?
You don't watch majors.
No, yeah, not really. Yeah.
Not your thing, buddy.
I mean, I don't watch the game, but I check the player who play here though.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, like take from them.
Yeah.
Are there any specific ones that come to mind?
Except Darvish and Tanaka.
Yeah. Clayton Kershaw, Justin Verlander.
Not really. Yeah. You mean American player?
Yeah.
I love Jose.
Jose?
Yeah, Jose.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he's, I went to see the Indians game, and everyone is like, Jose, 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 Jose. That song was really fun.
Now, does big cousin Yucatane play softball?
No.
No?
No, she's playing, as I said, dance.
Can't you do a backflip?
Huh?
Could you do a backflip?
Backflip?
Yes.
What is that?
When you jump over behind your back and you land perfectly.
No, I don't think so. She dance different styles, so.
Like ballet, like a little tap, like a little jazzy, woozy dazzy?
Jazz dance?
Jazz?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. That's nice to see a little jazz going on in Japan. Have a little move, a little fun going on.
Yeah. That's what she's doing.
Now, can we ever get her to come on the show?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but, I'm going back. I have to go back to Japan, so I don't think we can meet up again. It's, very hard, so But I hope we can meet.
Now, buddy, what's the thing you're going to miss most about being in America?
That's a good question. Yeah. Friends. Yeah, definitely friends. Yeah. Cause now I'm missing Japan because I have a girlfriend over there and family, so I want to go back. But friend is definitely it's gonna be missed.
Yeah. And buddy, I'm gonna miss you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna miss you screaming about my rooster alarm.
Now I'm getting used to that sound, but first I couldn't. That was really noisy, but I don't know why I'm getting used to that sound now.
That's good.
Is that good?
Yes.
Okay.
You can use the rooster alarm in Japan.
Yeah.
Now coming up next on Barbershop Sports Talk, I'm going to explain to you how maybe Lavar Ball is changing the mold. And the NCAA better be worried about it. Coming up next on Barbershop Sports Talk. Back with Barbershop Sports Talk. I want to thank Shuhei Iwasaki, my buddy, as I affectionately call him, for coming on the show. He's going back to Japan, I think next week sometime or this week, and I am going to miss him. Finally got him on the show and he did it. I respect that, and he made some good points actually that made me think a lot about, sociologically, sports wise, between Japan and America. Like, I didn't know you can only pick one club in Japan. It's we have specialization here in America, but it's more like parents forcing on you a little bit when you see one kid plays basketball, one kid's football, one kid's baseball, one kid's hockey, whatever. But in Japan, you really don't have a choice. It's the system, which I find actually pretty interesting. But gonna miss you, bud. Gonna miss having your voice on this show. I will miss that. You gave me some good sound bites, Shuhei. I will miss you. Speaking of someone, that wants to send people to foreign countries, and I asked Shuhei himself about it. Lavar Ball is sending Lamelo and Liangelo Ball to Lithuania, in a small Lithuanian village. Now, we might all look at this like this is crazy. Lavar Ball's an idiot. He doesn't care about his kids. And I want to preface it before I get into really what I want to talk about. It's not like Lavar Ball is just leaving his kids in a foreign country. I mean, that's what he is doing, but I will say this. My dad always said this, too. The only person you got is your siblings. And Lamelo will be with Liangelo. So I'm not too necessarily worried. The only thing I'm worried about is Liangelo's the oldest. He's the big brother. He's supposed to be the more responsible one. He's 3 years older than Lamelo. And Liangelo's going overseas acting like a kleptomaniac, shoplifting from Chinese stores. That's the only concern. But in terms of how they're going to interact and stuff, they will have each other. So it's not necessarily like he's sending one of them by themselves. But this whole idea of sending them to a foreign country, I think it's actually very interesting. And I think this has potential to set a trend that the NCAA does not want. And it's only a matter of time, too, because when we all think about this, people all the time, we say college football is unjust, right? I think it's unjust. I talk about how it was like a mafia. They're ripping off the kids. It's not fair. All this stuff. And always the argument that's always told to me is, why don't you just go play in the Canadian Football League? There's the Arena Football League in basketball. Why don't you play in Barcelona? There's a bunch of leagues all over the place. Play overseas. And Lavar Ball finally decided to do that. He said, I will go overseas. Because Lavar Ball, actually, he doesn't believe in the one and done rule. I think part of the reason he might have pulled out Lamelo and even Liangelo's because they both have their signature shoes. The NCAA is not really about that. You can't profit. You can't do that. So, maybe there's some other calculations that Lavar Ball's mad is. He's like, we making money. We promoting the big baller brand. We doing it our way. Now, if this works out, because I will say this about European basketball, I think European basketball is I don't want to say inherently better than college basketball in the AAU, but it is. You know, these guys like Manu Ginobili, Dirk Nowitzki, Pau Gasol, Mark Gasol. They might not be the most athletic, even Tony Parker. They might not be the most athletic guys in the world, but they all can play. They can all pass. They can all shoot. They all play defense. They all have a toughness about them. You know what I mean? And in the AAU circuit, it's sort of coddled. You know, we let players jack up 50 shots a game. LaMelo's jacking up 50 shots a game, cherry picking. You don't do that in Europe. It's ball movement. It's spacing. You know, when the USA always plays Spain, Argentina, and these teams, it's always close. Because while the USA team has so much talent with LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, all these guys. And Argentina only has like Manu Ginobili and Luis Scola. Argentina knows how to play basketball. Spain with Pau Gasol and Marc Gasol in them. Spain knows how to play basketball. They all know how to move the ball. They know how to play as a cohesive unit, as a team. And I think that's what we're missing here. That's what European basketball is all about. So we know this, what we're getting. Better ball movement, basketball toughness, higher basketball IQ. And they're going to play against grown men. Lamelo and Liangelo will play against grown men. They got to feed their families. And know what it's like to be a professional basketball player. You know, these coaches don't play. I was listening to Chris Broussard, and Chris Broussard said sometimes they practice twice a day. That's like football two-a-days. I never heard of a basketball team having legit practices twice a day. That shows you how seriously they take it over there. It's a lot different, because I'm going to say this again. This AAU circuit, it's coddled, it's protected. Even in college basketball, it's a lot more structured. You know, you have your Izzos, your Krzyzewskis and all that. But still, it doesn't give you the same lessons that you learn. Like, for example, when these college basketball players come out, some of them aren't even ready. Some of them don't even pop. When Kawhi Leonard came out, Kawhi Leonard was like a junior when he came out of San Diego State or whatever. Kawhi Leonard was only scoring 8 points a game. You know, Tony Parker comes in his second year. He's a starting point guard for a championship team. They're just more developed. And that's the biggest part about this. And if this turns Liangelo Ball into a solid NBA player, then can shoot, be able to play defense, tough, strong guy, and LaMelo Ball, who has all the talent in the world, 6'2", they're talking about could potentially be 6'6", 6'7", can score, can handle, can pull up, has a three-point shot, obviously. He was a top 15 prospect in high school, and he develops into a star in the NBA because of this. It could be all world for both these guys, all world. And then other people are going to look around and say, I'm going to become a better basketball player. Get just as good coaching, if not better coaching, and probably tougher coaching. I don't have to go to school and play this ruse that we all know college athletes do, because lots of these guys, you know, aren't there for the school. They're there for the basketball. And I actually get paid. That's a big one. I actually get paid for my services. And I'm probably, you know, get to blow in another country. I know Shuhei was talking about it. Sometimes it's hard, you know, and depending on different circumstances, but different experience. You get to know what it's like to be on the road. You have travel in the NBA hardships. You get a little bit of that mental toughness, I think. And people are going to be like, this is going to better prepare me. So this might be a route some other people start taking. And I'll tell you, this is not what the NCAA wants. The NCAA doesn't really care about Liangelo because he, you know, not the most talented guy in the world. You know, some even talk about if he was even a Division I basketball player. But LaMelo Ball was a top 15 recruit. He was a top 15 recruit. That's a big deal, which means he probably would have been a very good college basketball player. He would have been a very good college basketball player for UCLA. And he forwent that to go to Lithuania. That is not a good thing. That is not a good thing for the NCAA. They do not want more star high school basketball players forgoing college. And if this works, what Lavar Ball is pulling around works, it's a dangerous precedent for the NCAA. Because they do not want their talent to start going over to other leagues. Because the NCAA is going to have to look at themselves and be like, maybe we have to pay these kids. Oh no, but people aren't ready for that yet, so let's not go to that. Okay, coming up next on Barbershop Sports Talk, we're going to have our last segment, our closing segment, my favorite segment, the night train as we're leaving. Coming up next on Barbershop Sports Talk. We're back with Barbershop Sports Talk, and we're going to close the show off with the last segment, the closing segment. You guys know it by name. The Night Train as we are leaving. You know, after the Pittsburgh Steelers Cincinnati Bengals game a couple weeks ago on Monday Night Football, there was such an outrage. People talking about how violent of a game football is. And I'm like, are you shocked? Duh. It's grown men hitting each other. It's not healthy last time I checked. It even has detrimental health to your brain, which we know with concussions now. We know how big of a deal concussions have played a part in football. Not to mention the fact the other physical ailments it causes you. My knee, if you ever seen my knee, is the proof of that. But I will say this. That game was very physical, hard-nosed football. Maybe went a little overboard, you can say. Ryan Jazier hurt his spinal cord. We're praying for him, of course. Vontaze Burfict got knocked out of the game by Juju Smith. Bengals safety George Ayoka hit Antonio Brown in the head. Probably not the best look when you have Juju Smith standing over Vontaze Burfict clapping. And Antonio Brown screaming, "Karma, karma." Head-to-head hits that you're trying to legislate out the game. But let's be real about the people that were criticizing the game. You need to realize this, and I'll say it for everybody out there. Football is a car accident every play. Fast and strong athletes jamming into each other at high speed, high force, will end badly. 9 times out of 10, probably 10 times out of 10, you'll feel the effects in some way or another. So, should we be sad that Ryan Jazier had a horrific injury? Yes, of course. Any human being would. But should we be mad? No. Should we say that's not football, people are trying to hurt each other? No, let's be honest, that's silly. In the end, football's a violent game. That will never change unless you make it flag football. Let's be honest. If it was flag football, nobody would watch. So let's realize, football is violent. It's part of the reason why we all like it. That's why I like it. And it's why many of the others love it as well. Just like boxing, just like MMA. Hell, even rugby's popular in London. The draw is part of the brutality. The Roman Empire Colosseum-like form that it is. So I will say this. If you don't like football, do what my grandma does, because she doesn't really like sports. You know how she deals with it? She doesn't watch it. So if you don't like football, you don't like the violence, don't watch it. Best thing I can say for you. Great show today. Want to thank my roommate and buddy forever, Shuhei Iwasaki, for coming. It's been an experience. I've learned so much from being with you, Shuhei. Gonna miss you. I might shed a tear right now. Really might. I want to thank Gavin Martin for doing the editing as always for the show. And it's the holiday season. And let me give people some advice. No carjacking, please. I know it's the holidays, but let's give. Let's not take. That's just all I have to say. And thanks for tuning in to another episode of Barbershop Sports Talk.
Waiting outside on a porch. I ain't trying to do this anymore. I just wanna go and get the scores. Never had the money at my door.